Yeah, and I think the most important question to ask is why Citrix? What did the technology have that you needed for this implementation, and what type of problems did it solve for you that you were facing here at the University of Stellenbosch?
Gerard, Citrix is the only solution that allows us to deploy Windows 7 OS and applications to Windows, Mac and Linux clients and mobile devices without requiring the machine to be joined onto the domain.
Can you maybe elaborate around the problems that you were facing and other possible solutions that you looked at?
Increasingly, our students are bringing their own laptops to campus. The challenge in that is to deploy university licensed software to their devices. And this is where Citrix comes in. We have to change our labs from the current model to a software as a service model. We will still have to maintain and install desktops for the next couple of years, and Citrix is again solving quite a few of those problems. And lastly is the fact that we have to reduce our electricity usage and our aircon costs, where thin clients really play a big role in reducing those electricity loads and heat dissipation.
Around the electricity and the air condition, maybe you can just speak a bit more around practical aspects of how you actually saw the decline of the spend or the amount of air cons that you need?
The thin clients use between 12 and 15 watts as opposed to a PC that uses 75 to 150 watts. And we've also looked at energy saving software for PCs. The problem is they only function if the PC, or typically they try to shut the PCs off. So if the lab is constantly in use, the savings are minimal.
If we can now look at the technical aspects of the solution, if you can just explain a bit more, why did you decide to go with the wires thin clients, and why does this allow, or do you think it allows for a better user experience?
We started off with 150 licenses. We were the first implementers of the Citrix campus agreement in Africa. That allows us to go to 1,000 units, but we can of course expand that. And we also started off by buying 4 Dell R610 one-use servers running 96 gigs of RAM each and 10 gig SFP plus connections. The reason for the Wise machines, there are many other devices out there, is that Wise focuses on thin clients. They have no other competing product that detracts from that focus. If you look at other tier 1 vendors, they have a traditional lineup of desktops and laptops, and the thin clients is but a small part of their portfolio. And I firmly believe that the economics of building and selling thin clients is fundamentally different from selling PCs and laptops, because after all, that thin client has a lifetime of about twice that of a desktop or a laptop.
Could you also speak about how Citrix Technologies at the moment is changing the IT department, and in particular, let's look at the first one. How does it impact the whole green IT initiative that you are running at the university?
Yes, we are under pressure to reduce our electricity consumption, and using thin clients has really allowed us to cut down on the size of the UPSs that we had to purchase, and the fact that you in essence run a remote desktop session. So everything is running on the server side. Okay. So in case of, let's say, a disaster would happen during an exam, one could move the whole exam to another venue without loss of continuity because the data is still sitting in the server room.
What did you used to do before if something like that happened? In the middle of an exam, the whole room's IT infrastructure went down.
We had to reschedule with a domino effect that implies.
Poor students. What did this do to your network security using Citrix?
Well, Citrix is again a fundamentally different way of doing things, because no data is leaving the server room. It all stays inside the server. You've got super fast connections running at 10 gigs to the backbone and to the storage. And the only traffic that goes over your LAN is basically the screen update. Also on the antivirus side, we're probably one of the first implementers of McAfee Move AV, where the antivirus checking is done on the server and on the VMs, but in a way that you don't burden the server with checking every VM in the same way that you would do on a thick PC.
What does this do for your way of delivering services to the new students?
Well, Citrix changes the whole picture because for the first time now we can deliver applications regardless of their device, and we can focus on the application because the endpoint device is not that important anymore. In fact, IT has been all about managing the devices, deploying them, decommissioning them, and now it changes. It's about the applications, and that is where the focus should be. So it allows us to publish the applications, and on more devices, not only on the LAN, people can access these applications from tablets, from smartphones even. So one can think for yourself how that will play a role in cutting travel costs. Students do not have to travel by train to come and work in the labs in the evening.
How did you find dealing with smart access this far, the skills, and just in general, can you tell us something about the relationship with smart access?
Smart Axess and the university has a very healthy relationship, and it's a partnership in which both parties help to tweak the solution and to solve problems. I think Smart Axess has the expertise. They've shown that they're willing to walk the extra mile, and I think they're worthy of the platinum status in Africa.
Then finally, where are you going with this whole Zen desktop technology within the university, and what is your future focus areas around this technology?
I'm very excited. I believe that desktop virtualization will mature at an advanced or increasing rate. There are still rough edges, but it's getting there very quickly. And I believe it is fundamental to change what we have known for the last 10, 20 years to work virtual. For users, I think it will be very similar to server virtualization. For users, it was a non-event. The one day you walk in and you still log in, and in the meantime, the IT department changed the server to a virtual server. So IT administrators love virtualization, and desktop users will probably not really notice that it's all running virtual now. We are, I think, pushing the boundaries to use virtualization as far as possible in fields like multimedia, numerical processing, assistive technologies, and we committed to make it work. My dream would be to have a very high ratio of thin clients, and only traditional PCs were absolutely necessary. We've already seen the benefits that one can have better service that is in fact running faster and easier to manage.
Okay, that's the end of the formal one, but I'd just like to ask one or two, just a little chat to the thing, and answer honestly, and then I'm going to throw a couple of questions, okay? The first thing is, I remember us sitting, was it May, June last year, embarking on this rollout and everything like that. If it was now June last year and you knew what you know now, would you still embark on the process of going Smart Axess, thin clients, and Zen Desktop from Citrix?
I wouldn't change anything about the products or the company.
Okay.
I've learned by doing it myself. I'm a technical person. I like the challenge, and I don't expect it to happen without hard hours working through the night sometimes.
Yeah, no,
that's part of IT.
Yeah. No, we've had some very nice ups and downs and everything, but just in general, what was up to now? What's the thing that made you smile the most about this whole solution?
I think if I hear about the disasters that happen to people losing their hard drives, losing data, thinking in the old mindset, where we are already, I mean, we know what's coming, and it's very exciting to know that you can have access to applications that we would never be able to give you access to see and to know what's coming.
Because some of the students has used some of this technology already. Do they actually realize what sits behind that monitor and keyboard that's at their desk, or have they asked, or could they actually spot the difference between working on their old normal, let's call them fat PCs, compared to the thin client solution?
I've asked a couple of students in this lab, and their reaction was awesome.
Oh, that's...
So, and you must remember we're dealing here with an iPad and Android generation. Okay. So they look at this completely differently. The screen on the table is probably more important than anything else to them. So I think the whole package that we've put together here is state of the art and will continue to be pushing the boundaries for a couple of years still.